This freehold townhouse sold for $1.7 million in downtown Toronto. But for $300,000 less, you can buy a townhouse of practically the same square footage, and it's even closer to the heart of the city. This is possible with a strategy that's not often talked about. The end game is that everyone wants a freehold house because, let's be real, nobody likes paying those pesky ongoing condo maintenance fees. The sheer thought of having to pay an out-of-pocket maintenance expense every single month to a condo board scares a lot of people away from this type of asset. This is the exact reason why buyers steer away from condo townhouses and only set their sights on a freehold townhouse for their new home search. But what if those condo townhouse maintenance fees weren't actually so bad in the long term when you compare it to the extra down payment needed for the entry-level freehold home? In this market, there's a lot more competition in the entry freehold townhouse market. You got bidding wars, offer nights, lots of competition that's still happening in this current market. But if you look the other direction, there's just barely any competition for the condo townhouses. And a lot of the times, the homes are very comparable. In this episode of Prime Properties TV, I'm going to show you exactly what the numbers look like for a freehold townhouse purchase and how a buyer could save $300,000 just by opting for a less expensive condo townhouse instead. So be sure to keep watching to hear more about this forgotten segment of the Toronto real estate market. Hi, my name is Zen, and if you're enjoying my data-driven and number-crunching real estate updates, be sure to like and subscribe. The condo townhome is often a very overlooked asset in the Toronto real estate market for those who are looking to buy a ground-based housing, meaning no elevators. A lot of you will fall in this category if you're trying to get into a house, especially if you're starting a family and don't want to deal with those elevator wait times anymore at the condo, whether you're renting or own the condo. However, a challenge for most is that the entry-level freehold home, usually your townhomes in the Greater Toronto area, often start at over $1 million. And oftentimes over $1.3 million in the Toronto core. This is why the condo townhome is a good alternative. Some of the pros of a condo townhome is that they're usually located closer to a subway line or a highway, and they offer just as much space, if not maybe more sometimes, plus there's a garage and it's newer. The cons are, sometimes they don't have a backyard, but they usually make up for that with like a terrace at the top and the pesky maintenance fees you pay every month. But it could be a good compromise when you see what kind of savings you have on your purchase price. This is especially true for anyone starting a family when the finances are more strained between maternity leaves and larger purchases such as a house or a car. And this is all before your career improves and income improves in the latter years of your life. So this is why a condo townhome makes sense at the current stage of life right there. And it still allows you to move up the real estate ladder and own a detached home in the future. Meaning, you won't be staying at this condo townhome for a very long time, and it is not the final home. So a condo town is a perfect starter low-rise home to keep costs low and provide you that non-elevator wait time lifestyle. So I'm going to show you the difference between a condo townhome and a freehold townhome and the cost between the two. But keep in mind, not all condo townhomes are created equal. So make sure you watch until the very end to know the ones to avoid. There will be a downtown Toronto example and a North York example, but this applies to most of GTA, except the price points are a little bit different. Hey, it's me interrupting myself. Ready to make a move? Just one free call, no hassle, put decades of experience to work for you. So I'm going to go through this example first in the downtown Toronto space. So 200 Argyle is in Little Portugal, but this is just right off of Ossington. So it's right over here. Ossington is right here. Argyle is kind of right over here, kind of just right before Dufferin. So it's a very nice little pocket, right? So looking at here, you can see it's a 100-year-old home. And one of the things I will note about Toronto townhomes is that a lot of times, because they're so old, they don't have that powder room on the main floor, which is kind of a menace for anyone who has young kids. And if you're watching the kid and you have to, take them to the washroom, it's a huge pain, right? So you can see there is 3-piece bathroom on the second floor, 2 of them, and 1 in the basement. So it's a little bit challenging. Now the townhome is about 17 feet wide, which, it's actually not too bad. But the one thing about this is, and me trying to keep it apples to apples, there's a parking spot, but this is accessed through a laneway, which is a little bit not as convenient. But what I will say is it's a very nicely done house, right? They kind of maintained a lot of the kind of old charm, and they updated the kitchen so that it's nice and new. Right? It's a very, very nice home. It is Victorian, so it's probably got 10-feet ceilings. From the photos, it looks like it. You got a nice standing space over here, and it's very nice. Classy, well done. This is probably the extension. You got a cute little backyard, and the car probably fits over there. It's nice. It's very, very nice. Yeah, I can see why this went for $1.7 million, right? It's a nice little pocket. There's an extension over there, and that's kind of where your car would fit, right? So nice house. Now the comparable I will show you is on Tecumseh. So this one is closer to Toronto, like downtown Toronto, and it's actually right at King and Bathurst, or Wellington, right, which is right here. And this is actually a very nice pocket because you're kind of just away from the hustle and bustle of, say, like, King West, but you are literally like 2-minute walk over, because there's a bunch of residential homes over here that are townhomes. And it's a very nice pocket between King West and Liberty Village, but you get to walk to both the amenities over here, and you also get both like Trinity Bellwoods and Fort York. So it's a very nice pocket. Now, the thing I will say is this is a larger home, right? So they're saying it's about 1989, and it does come with a $540 maintenance fee, but it does come with the parking. Now I'm going to show you the home. So it's very nice. Now, one of the things I will say is, because this is a 3-story town, this is almost kind of like your walkway. So one of the annoyances is that you do have to walk upstairs to kind of like your main floor, which is over here, that has the balcony, and then your bedrooms and everything will be up here, right? Because it's essentially like a 4-story home. It's a little bit on the larger side, but you get that space because you go vertical. And you can see this is the main living space. Walk here. Again, just very big open windows. It's a definitely much newer home, obviously, built within the last century. And you can see, even though it's not as nice and upgraded as the last home, because that one had to be, renovated, you could always just upgrade this a little bit. But it already has some like decent finishes. This looks like granite. You got crown mold over here. You could always just change up the kitchen cabinets, which is fine. You got 2-piece dishwasher, maybe Fisher Paykel from the looks of it. You got subway tiles. It's nice, right? It's very nice. And it's very open. That's the key thing. It's very open from side to side. And you got these big windows that are essentially that you would get in condos, and you get a terrace outdoor. So it's very, very livable. Very, very livable. And it's also much closer. And then you got larger bedrooms because you have multiple floors. And usually your master bedroom is on the upstairs, right? Just much, much nicer. And I want to show you here's the terrace. So with a lot of these kind of condo townhomes, you lack the backyard, because a lot of these condo townhomes are infills, meaning people have assembled a bunch of lots together and they've increased the density. And one of the ways to increase the density is by removing the backyard. But they make up for that by having a terrace up here. So you can imagine having like a barbecue. So you can see how it's a gas line here, and you can't have furniture. So it's quite nice, but you just don't get as much kind of green space, and you can't walk outdoor. But for some people, this might be enough for like a kid walking around or just lounging upstairs and get some daylight. And here's a garage. The interesting about this style of home is that you kind of have to parallel park into here, but if it's a car. So let's go through the numbers. So this is our downtown example. The purchase price was $1.7 million. The taxes were a little bit shy of $6,000, and there's no maintenance fee here. I'm just assuming everyone's at 4.25 interest across the board, and your double land transfer tax. Now let's go into the next property. So Tecumseh is 1414. Your taxes are 653. I'm pulling it from over here, and your condo fees are 540. Right, and so I add that in here. So in this example, because when we're buying a home, we just got to look out, what the monthly amount is, because that's essentially how you're going to qualify. So to buy the freehold home, you're looking at $400,000 in equity to be like, call it downtown Toronto to have a freehold townhome. That's a little bit on the nicer side. And you're looking at about $7,200 in monthly carry. Now, if you look at the condo townhome, you only need $330,000, which saves you $69,000, and your monthly carry is $6,600. So it allows you to enter a ground-based home with lower down payment, which is easier if you're financially strained right now because you're trying to start a family. And you can qualify with a lower income if you haven't reached where you should be for your career because you don't need as much monthly carrying costs to sustain it. And if you were to stay here for 5 years and then the kids are a little bit older and then you get to something larger, maybe when they go to public school or something, know that your maintenance fee over a 5-year term is going to set you back $32,000. But you're allowed to enter the ground-based home for less money, and it's still less than the down payment and all the transfer tax you would have had to pay extra for a freehold home. So this is what I'm saying. It makes a lot of sense. And this is like, arguably, I would say it's a much better area. I can actually walk to, say, financial district from Tecumseh versus Argyle. I feel like you would probably have to take the streetcar. So now I'm going to take you into North York, where there are a lot of condo townhomes along the Yonge subway. And then a lot of people generally want to live on the flanking side of Bayview or even Bathurst Manor, where a lot of freehold homes are. And the gaps are actually even larger here, and why a lot of people actually quite like the condo townhomes along Yonge Street because there's a lot of value there. So let's look at the freehold property, which is over here on Chiswell. And you can see it is a townhome, a little bit on the larger, wider side, and obviously a little bit older than some of the condo townhomes I pick. And you do get more parking spots, but it's sold for $1.49 million, but it's also a 3-bedroom, 3-washroom. And because it is a newer home than these century homes, you do have the powder on the second floor, which is nice, right? And you can go through here. It's nice. It's not like super new per se. You can still see some of the older flooring. The walls haven't been blown out. And you can see over here the kitchen's still a bit dated, right? About 1.4, lots of parking spot. Catches a lot of good school districts. The cabinets are definitely from the 80s. There's still carpet throughout. Place to update that. And look, you got a nice little backyard, very mature tree. It's cute. And you got a garage. Now, that one here went for 1.49. Now, I'm going to show you a condo town, which is much closer to Yonge. So you can jump along the Finch subway line, or this one actually right by North York Civic. And this one over here is Somerset. So this property here sold for $1 million, $400,000 difference. But your maintenance fee is $700 a month. Sizing wise, it's comparable. You obviously don't have the backyard and you don't have the larger driveway for more cars, but this is a very good in between, and you're closer to a lot of the amenities that are walkable, which is what a lot of people like for condos. Now this one over here, you do have to keep in mind, there's a little bit of flight stairs to get up there. You got your main floor here, your little terrace, and then you got your bedrooms that are over here. Looking at this again, it's not like highly renovated. You can always redo a couple things here and there, and you can always blow this out. But for $1,000 for 1,500 square feet along the subway line, yeah, it's nice. Kitchen, again, not to like the super high standards that a lot of people that are accustomed to right now, but still newer than the other one. At least you got some stainless steel appliances. This is the powder room over here that's on the second floor. You can see that it will be here, right here. Well, it's actually a 3-piece, right? So that's always kind of nice. And it's not staged, so it doesn't look as well, but this is a generally nice 3-story condo town. Lots of space. This is probably your main bedroom. That's a lot of books. Yeah, there you go. And you got a little driveway at the back, right? So again, lacking the backyard, but you're very, very close to the Yonge subway line. Now let's look at the numbers. So punching it in, Chiswell sold for $1,490. But that's a very expensive tax bill. And there's no condo fees. Now Somerset, if I were to go here, gets us at $1,070,000. Taxes are also lower, but you have the condo fee. Now water is included and central air is also included. So that may reduce your overall utility bills by a little bit, but I'm just going to leave that as a watch and not make things complicated. So you can see here that you have a difference of over $1,000 in monthly carry for roughly the same size of space. You just lose the backyard and extra parking spot. And you also save yourself $100,000 on the down payment of this. And if you're to extrapolate your maintenance fee over 5 years, it's $43,000, but it's still much less than the difference in the down payment and your land transfer tax you would be paying to get it to the freehold home. So that's what I'm saying. Again, another example where the condo townhome may beat out a lot of the freehold properties in a specific area. So as you can see in both examples, in both downtown Toronto and the North York, Toronto one as well, that the condo townhome is cheaper if you're planning to move into the detached and allows you access into ground-based level homes much better. But not all condo townhomes are created equal, like I was saying. So there's an example that I will call out here that this is a condo townhome that you should avoid. And the main reason, even though the prices is so cheap here, is that the maintenance fee is way too high. And the reason for this is that if you just Google the address, you can see that this is a high-rise tower. And you want to avoid these high-rise towers that have the townhome on the base, because a lot of the times you're paying and contributing to a higher price per square foot maintenance fee because you're sharing the amenities and the gym and the pool, but you're at a disadvantage because your condo townhome has such large square footage compared to say like a 500 or 700 square feet condo, that your maintenance fee, even though on a per square foot basis is reasonable, when you have this much space, it becomes a little bit ridiculous in how much you're paying. So if I were to enter this number, and this is a very well located condo, don't get me wrong, it's just, I don't think it makes any sense. Because when you put in, almost $1,200 in maintenance fee, you can see that your carry is going to be less than your Somerset because the maintenance fee is so high. And this is where I will have a little bit of issue where, because your maintenance fee is so high, you should just get the more expensive property, because at least some of that higher mortgage payment, which is baked into like over here, is going towards equity payment, as opposed to maintenance fee. It doesn't go anywhere. And you can see over here that you're not really saving as much, because 5 years over time, you're $70,000 in maintenance fee, which is quite a lot. So these are the condo townhomes you should 100% avoid. And now that you do see the difference between the two, I also want to show you how competitive it has been in the last 3-4 months and why we've been recommending looking at condo townhomes to a lot of our clients. Because if we pull up a lot of the data, which I have over here, you can see that in the last 2 months or so, when I compare the amount of properties I've sold in condo townhomes and townhomes, it's about half-half, which is not bad. Right now, if I double click into the townhome over here, you can see these are the median prices, meaning the halfway price point, to give you an idea of what the price is in each area. But the thing I do want to draw your attention to is that you can see 42% of these listings sell above list. And a lot of the times, yeah, they may list it for $1, they may under list. But when they sell for 103% over ask, it means that at least there's competition, whether it may be 2 offers, 3 offers, or 4 offers, there's competition nonetheless. And you can see over here, half the properties sell in 14 days, which usually tells me they had an offer date, and the average is 22. But now when I double click into the condo townhome, you can see your prices come down about like $150,000 to $200,000 per region. And only a third of them, instead of 40% of the properties sell above ask, and you only add 101% of list price, meaning that's a lot less competition. And you can see the median days on market is much higher and the average days on market is much higher. So this is what I'm saying. You're going to save money. You're going to have a lower carry cost. It's going to be less competitive to get into a condo townhome if you're trying to get into that low-rise home because you're trying to start a family and just can't make it there to the freehold home. This is a very, very good compromise in between the freehold and the current condo, which a lot of people who are starting off a family, generally like, older millennials, are in that position right now. And when your family has matured a little bit and your career has progressed, you can always trade this in for the larger, call it semi or your detached home. When income's higher, this property has appreciated as well. And it does actually appreciate quite a bit. So I would not be too concerned about that. Now that you can see the differences between a condo townhome and a freehold townhome, you can see why it makes sense as the next rung in your real estate ladder before you get to the final freehold detached home. It does everything a freehold townhome does, plus it gives you a better location, and oftentimes it is newer. The cons of the maintenance fee is that it's just temporary until you move up to that larger home. Furthermore, the condo townhomes are also much, 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 much less competitive than your freehold townhome right now. They do fall under that 70% increase in unsold inventory I was talking about in this video, meaning there are more opportunities to snatch up a good deal for these condo townhomes versus a freehold home, which is highly competitive. And to fully understand just how bad the unsold condo inventory is, make sure you check out this video over here. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, your move, your future. See ya!